James, I'm from TT Games, and to my left here we have Phil Rue.
Hi.
We're here to show you, what are we going to show today, Phil?
So we are showing some exclusive content of LEGO DC Supervillains. So we're really excited about this. Brand new LEGO game that we get to show you at the very beginning of the game, and some of the cool things you'll get to be able to do.
That sounds awesome.
Cool.
I've seen it a couple of times already, but every time it's an absolute adventure.
So, well, this is actually one of the great things, and quite a handy little lead on. What's great about this game is we put some brand new features into it, some things that we're really excited about, and we're hoping people are going to have a lot of fun with. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump in. James is going to jump in and show us some of this brand new content. Personally, I've always had some things that I want to do in LEGO games, and this is kind of one of these games where we actually get to do that. So we're going to jump in. Here's a little bit of a cutscene. It's going to set a little bit of the story about what's going on, and this is our friend Commissioner Gordon driving through the streets of Gotham.
He's on. Where is he going? He's on his way to Metropolis, isn't he?
He is.
He's got some news.
He's going to a particular place. He's going to Strikers Island. He's looking for some information because someone has turned up that is going to be very important to the story that's about to play out. And so one of the great things about that is this is one of the new features that we're adding for LEGO DC Supervillains. It's something we've never been able to do previously. So as Commissioner Gordon arrives, you actually get to create a character and put it into this DC universe. So you get to make whoever you want, whether that be your favourite villain. I'm going to create someone who's brand new, or actually I'm going to create myself and go, I'm going to be a bad guy and put myself into the game. And you actually get to be a part of the story. And you may have kind of got a little bit of a hint from the game title. This is LEGO DC Supervillains. You actually get to be the bad guys, which is really cool. Being the bad guys is kind of a lot of fun. You get to run into rooms and smash up all the LEGO. This is kind of the great things that you get to do in LEGO games. And when you're doing it as a villain, it just seems to fit really well.
And well, DC has some really iconic supervillains, don't they? Like,
they've got some of the best.
Yeah, you've got Joker, Harley Quinn, like Lex Luthor, Gorilla Grodd. You know, like there's just so many, and it's really cool to go through all these story levels in the game and just like experience them, and all these new locations as well from the DC universe, being the bad guys and sort of running amok.
This is it. And so this is actually the customizer. This is probably one of the most detailed things we've ever put into a LEGO game. There's a huge amount of detail you can put into your character. If you really want to go to town on it and go, okay, I want to have a blue top and I want to have these really cool sunglasses and I want like a cowboy hat that's green, and you can really mix and match and make whoever you want to make. It was really important that you had that level of customization, so you can really bring this character to life. At the point that we say to people you get to make a character, make yourself and put it into a game, you really need to be able to do all the really cool things. Like, I want blue trousers, I want a kind of a white t-shirt, whatever you want to be able to put onto your character, you have that ability.
Phil, white t-shirt and blue trousers. There's more options than that. I'm going to show you now.
But it's not even just about customizing the visuals. What's great about this is you get to kind of bring this character to life. So once we've kind of decided, you know what, I want my character to look this cool, as you progress through the story, you unlock more abilities. And you get to customize those abilities. So I want my character to be super fast, like Reverse Flash. You can do that. Or I want my character to be able to fly, so I'll give them the flight ability. Or I want to be able to kind of interact and kind of be a bit techie, so I'll give them the ability to interact with techno panels and things like this. And really kind of go to town with these details as well. So one of the abilities we're actually going to unlock in this level is the heat beam ability. And so you can use that to heat up gold Lego. But if I want my heat beam to look like purple lightning, I can come out of my left hand, or no, actually I want it to come out of my eyes. You can make all these changes and really customize it, make it your own experience. So James is currently just having a look through some of the weapons that we've got. It's gone for a foil at the moment.
So thinking a battle staff, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
And it really is about bringing it to life, like being able to say, okay, I want my character to be super cool, I want it to have this ability, I want it to have these kind of, just make it part of this world. And also, when doing this as well, we say it's part of the story, you really are critical to the story. Once you've created your character, one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen is when you make your character, he then appears in the cutscenes and in the videos. So shortly after we've decided this is the person I want to be, you then see your character interacting with Lex Luthor and like the rest of the DC universe. It's absolutely brilliant. You get to see, okay, what's my character going to be like if they're hanging around with Catwoman, and they get to kind of have those interactions.
Yeah, you start off as a bit of a tag-along, don't you? Like Lex Luthor breaks out of Strikers Island, and it's like, you know, I guess we'll bring the new guy along, and then from there you just like keep going through all these story levels, and you end up getting more powerful and more. You become one of the best supervillains, I'd say. But
yeah.
Maybe I'm biased because I just created it.
Well, yeah, that's very much part of it. It was this idea that the kind of team bring this idea to life, that you get to be part of this world, but also that you're really important to this world. So yeah, as you say, like Lex at the beginning, it's like, this guy's a rookie, he's like not important, but very quickly you kind of realise you're actually really important. Like you're one of the most powerful kind of villains in this story, and you get more and more abilities. So as the other kind of characters start reacting to you, they're like, oh, hang on, this guy's really important. Actually, we should hang around.
He means business. Speaking of which, I think I'm about to enter through the doors now, aren't I, actually? Ta-da! Here I come.
So there we have it. It's just brilliant. You get to make your characters put them into the world and actually see them properly come to life in this world.
And my uniform? Oh wait, there they are. What?
So we kind of touched on it a little bit. One of the great things about playing as the villains is, like James mentioned, yeah, the villains are the best characters. They've got some great ones, and they have the best lines. So as you're kind of running around, you get to play as Lex, you get to play as Joker, you get to play as Harley, and then of course your custom characters interacting with these people. And so we've been to the DC universe before with LEGO games, but this is the first time that we've kind of like been able to show that side of this world in this amount of detail. So even if you come and you've played a previous LEGO title, and say you played the game and you go, you know what, I played as the Joker before, this is a completely different experience. We've really kind of revamped how the Joker looks and feels in this game. So he's got some brilliant kind of combat moves, some brilliant takedown moves, and we've got some really cool stuff to do with like voice acting that I can't go into too much detail about, but there's some very, very cool things that we've added for this title. We really wanted it to be, so even if you played the other kind of LEGO DC titles, that you really get to see a different kind of take on this world, and being able to play as the villains kind of really helps with that as well, because like I say, the villains have some great kind of characters, and especially the kind of like the DC universe, we've kind of mentioned a few, but it's not just about kind of like the Batman world. This is about going really into DC, so there's a huge roster right across the DCU spectrum, and that was really cool to be able to include.
Yeah, I think there's places we've touched upon maybe briefly in previous games, but I mean, there's certain locations in the hub world, isn't there, that just like we've really opened up and really gone to town with like all the old and all the classic characters from DC, but also some that people might not even heard of before, and you get to visit their home planets and stuff. So it's pretty awesome and exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, the team do an amazing job of being able to go, yeah, well, who would be cool? And then there's some really quirky ones in there, like some people I've never heard of, and then you kind of see it and you're like, oh, this is really interesting. I want to know more about these people. Cool, so as this is the very beginning of the game, so this is like, if you got this game, this is how this game starts out. So we're kind of introducing players to some of the new mechanics, and what we need to do here at the moment is kind of take down a couple of these shields, and then we'll be able to use Lex, who has the ability to blow up silver Lego. So there's some familiar mechanics that are coming back, so things like being able to blow up silver Lego, we kind of just a bit of a staple for Lego games. But we also have some brand new kind of abilities and things in this game as well. We start to see some of those later on in this level, so I can go in a bit more detail there. But we really wanted something that felt kind of very, very villainous, very fun, kind of very mischievous. So there is a lot of kind of blowing up environments. There's a lot of kind of what can I rebuild out of this that's a bit quirky. And then of course with such great characters, we kind of wanted to revamp everything. So the visual style, you'll see that you might see like these combo meters popping up to show what type of moves you're doing and how you're kind of chaining your attacks together. And they'll all kind of give you stuff rewards depending on how well you do.
One of the awesome things as well is the grab attacks as well that we've added. So you can grab an enemy and then there's 3 different attacks you can do to keep building up your combo multiplier and that. And they're always themed around the characters. Like Joker pulls out a nice little box, and then a big like boxing glove comes out and bops the policeman into the air. Yeah, they're all really unique in that. They like give a bit more personality to the combat, and yeah, it just makes it feel really awesome.
So this is actually a little bit of a tease for what you get to do for the rest of the game. You might see in the background just here, that's actually Metropolis, and that's part of our open world. So once you've kind of broken out of the various level, and then you're kind of into this open world to explore, it's kind of really rich DC themed area, and you've got places like Gotham to explore, but you can also go up to Metropolis. We have a few other places as well, places like Smallville. So the open world hub really is something that's rich with kind of content and cool things to find, and that's where you get to kind of meet some of the more quirkier heroes and villains as well. So there are some people that you'll bump into and you'll sit there and go, oh, okay, I can help him out, and he might be able to kind of tag along on the adventure as well.
Just got to get them stats there. It's all about the studs, isn't it, in LEGO games?
Cool, so we're just about to add a couple more people to our roster. So a couple of people joining the party and going to help us with the breakout.
Oh, Solomon Grundy and Cheetah as well. You can ask for a better team, could you?
Let's say an unlikely team up. So there's some of the grab moves that you get to see as well.
My former criminal colleague. Glad to have you with us.
So when we have various characters, we really want to make sure that we're bringing them to life. So the team do a brilliant job of saying, okay, if I'm Solomon Grundy, what do I expect? What can that character do that no one else would be able to do? So it's things like his special moves, being able to use things like if he's going to do a slam attack, he uses this kind of big headstone that he pounds into the ground. And then of course, with it being a co-op game, we always want some co-op features. So here we have Cheetah being able to use Grundy to throw her up to a higher area. She can then use her acrobat abilities. And we really want all the characters to feel really rich and how you'd expect them to feel. If you're a fan of any of these characters, we want to make sure that actually, you know what, they feel exactly as I'd expect them to. So that I'm rolling around as Harley on my roller skates, I want to be able to do the cool things that Harley can do. Or if I'm sat there playing as like as Lex, for example, I think Lex is pretty with this kind of power suit he's running around in.
Yeah,
but
he's got some
has to feel
very
like
sweet
Lex.
weapons on that suit, isn't he? He's tooled up to the nines.
So yeah, really, if you're a fan of any of these characters, we really want them to kind of feel really cool. We really want them to feel as you'd expect them to as a DC fan. We're massive DC fans in the office. They really kind of dig into anything they possibly can find. So whether it be comic books or kind of TV series or films or anything we can kind of get to kind of absorb and go, okay, these are all the variations of these characters, but how do they act in a Lego world? What's the Lego versions of these people?
Just going to use some sweet X-ray ability now, just to get through this little section. Look at that. Skills.
So yeah, this is one of the cool things with all these variations in characters. People kind of figure out puzzles in different ways. So as you can see, like Lex being very tech, so we've got this kind of this wall that he needs to use his X-ray ability on to kind of rewire the circuits and be able to kind of drop the force field. But of course, we know that if this was a puzzle where we needed to use someone else, like the Joker, for example, he's going to use completely different abilities because that's the Joker and that's what he's like. But of course, we know Lex is a bit of a mastermind with these things, so he's pulling some strings. I think he's more aware of kind of the stuff that's going on a lot of the time. And,
well, I think everyone thinks that they're about to escape the prison, aren't they? But we're going to turn it on its head, and Lex has actually got other ideas. So.
Yeah, Lex has always got something up his sleeve. Probably a plastic minifigure.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going, like I say, we're going deeper into Strikes Island right now. And it's a cool place. I mean, I don't know many prisons that are built on top of an active lava volcano, but yeah, go for it. Like,
yeah, that doesn't seem like the planning commission should have gone through for that one.
Yeah, terrible health and safety record. But this is one of the cool things about this. So we've created this custom character, and all of a sudden it becomes apparent that we can do something here. And so here we have these brand new kind of access terminals. And this is where you start to realise how cool your character can be. So what James is doing right now is he needs to kind of fly over, and once he hits these kind of, we'll see something very cool happen. It's running away from
It's quite difficult sometimes.
So once you collected them all,
look at that power.
and so this is it, we've just unlocked a brand new ability. So from this point forward, your custom character will now have the heat beam ability.
I feel stronger already, you know.
And as we mentioned, we really wanted it so you can really dig into this, so we can customise this ability. We can sit there and go, like I say, I want it to look a certain way, I want it to have like a certain origin point, I want it to have a certain colour. And the idea is basically so that you can chat with your friends and people go around and go, oh, I just done this cool ability, I can make my character do this. Oh, that's really cool, what does yours look like? Oh, I've done this, I've done that. And it's really kind of being able to, like I say, bring this world to life. And I get really excited. I spend way too much time just kind of choosing the aesthetic of everything in the game. Like, I want blue, no I want green now, oh I'm feeling in a bit of a purple mood today. Matching the t-shirt. And like I say, with being able to customise your character, it really does make this game feel different. It kind of, I whenever I'm playing, I always feel like I've got this kind of affiliation with the person that I've created, and turn around and go, okay, I want this guy on this adventure, I want to be able to do everything I can and kind of see how they interact with this world. Cool, so now that we've unlocked this ability, we should use it.
Yeah, I fully agree. Let me just dispatch first. Here we go. I'm just chasing me now.
Of course, you may see some bits and pieces in the background as well. we always want reasons to keep exploring. So of course, free play is very much part of this game again. As you unlock new abilities and new characters, you'll be able to revisit levels and unlock some new content. So I do know there's a rather cool secret behind that door on the left, but we're not going to go there right now. We're going to go somewhere else first.
And wait till October to discover the secrets behind that door.
Cool. So, as I say, Lex is a bit of a mastermind here, so the other villains may not know exactly what's going on, but Lex has obviously got an idea of what to do.
It's quite an ominous, like, metal-looking cell there, isn't there?
There's someone in there.
There's someone really bad must be in there. Like, I think we're trying to free him as well, aren't we?
I can possibly say.
That takes care of that.
Let's wait and see who's behind the big reveal.
Want to know what's inside?
So with the characters and the kind of like being able to bring them to life, we mentioned the kind of the team, the animators do a brilliant job kind of being able to say like, okay, what's really cool about these characters. One of the great things is the custom character actually has abilities where you can change the way that your character moves around the world. So if you want your character to kind of have a very particular style, where it'd be kind of like a little bit martial arts based, you get to pick that as your animation style for your character. So that's really cool as well, because once again, you can have two characters that look the same visually, but their animations can be completely different. You can really mix and match and change, but I mean, to be honest, there's an absolute huge amount of variation in these characters. I don't think anyone's going to make two characters that look the same. There's just so many choices. Cool, so here we have another puzzle. We need to kind of line this slide tile puzzle back up, and that'll help us progress.
Almost. There we go. That.
Good work.
Thank you. Cheers.
And with the kind of way that we interact with this world as well, there are some really cool like things that the team do with being able to kind of revamp mechanics and things. So there's certain things like that slide puzzle. We wanted it to kind of be a kind of a familiar thing, but I know that there's other really cool ones in there. There's a match 2 puzzle in there at some point as well, which you need to do to help progress. And kind of just having those variations in gameplay, so that if you keep coming back, there's always something fresh and something new to see.
You'll come across then tech panels, but you know everyone will be slightly different. Or, you never know what to expect when you actually come across one, some sort of crazy puzzle. Oh, Superman, he's come to ruin the day.
I chop the vegetables now. Good for you.
It's one of the great things. I love the way that we kind of be able to tell the Lego version of these worlds. So how does the Lego Lex interact with Lego Superman? And here's our big reveal. We've just unlocked it's Metallo, Kryptonite Core. So of course Superman's not a big fan of him.
Dispatched him pretty easily actually, didn't he? I think Superman's in a bit of trouble now, isn't he? And everyone's making a break for it now, Strikers Island. Job done.
There's an awful lot of prison breaks that happen in DC worlds. There's an awful lot of time people are making their escape.
I think as our first venture into DC Superman, I think we've done a cracking job so far, to free everyone from Strikers Island in the first 20 minutes.
This is it, your custom character.
Oh no.
So here we have the Justice League have turned up. Of course, it wouldn't be a game without the kind of having the heroes as well as the villains. So we get to play it from a different side now. So we're going to kick off and we'll see what's happening elsewhere.
Oh, I recognise that. Anyway, that voice. Harley Quinn! Yeah.
Harley is one of my favourites. She's brilliant. Like the roller skates, the hammer, kind of quirky things that you get to do with her. She's really, really cool.
So they've just ransacked Wayne Tech, haven't they? And stolen some pretty hot off the shelf items, haven't they? So Wayne Tech officers.
This is it. They kind of wanted to kind of snatch and grab a few bits, which is a bit of a tie back to some of the stuff we saw at the very beginning of the video. You'll also notice if you're keen viewers who've played other Lego games, there might be some nods to some of the previous Lego DC titles we've done. You might see the odd bit or piece of tech that might be a bit familiar. So keep an eye out if you've played the previous ones.
There's always Batman in there. He's always there. Spoiling our fun.
So Harley's very cutting edge at the moment. She's always running around with her mobile phone doing kind of a little Instagram approach.
Yeah, Lexagram, isn't it? So now the Batman's out of the way. Cheers, Solomon Grundy. Time for Joker and Harley to steal the show.
So this is another one of these kind of brand new mechanics I kind of mentioned earlier on. Heroes kind of tend to be a bit solitary. They kind of team up with each other. One of the great things you have with villains is villains have henchmen. They have goons. So the team wanted to kind of include that as something you get to do in the game. So anytime you're running around, if you see other goons, you can actually recruit them and get them to help you out. So here we have Joker. He's recruiting all of his Joker goons. You can tell they've got the little Joker jackets on. And then they're like, okay, right, you guys, you need to help me. You will become something. And they very handily become trampoline. Because that's what we get to do. So being able to have kind of goons that help you out, we thought was quite cool as well. So they'll turn up at various points and you'll be able to say, right, you guys, you can come help. I need assistance. You will do this for me.
I need to get up here. Like, do you mind clambering on top of each other so I can climb up you? And it's all quite comical, like little moments like that. And
it's really cool. It's something that we've never been able to do because, like you say, it would be weird for Batman to be running around commanding people to do stuff. It's not in his character.
Come on, Alfred. Give us a hand with this.
It kind of makes perfect sense for the villains. So we get to kind of do a bit of a take on things and have this new mechanic. Here we have a graffiti mechanic as well, which is actually something that turns up and you get to kind of put your little mark on various pits within the open world as well. So you might be able to run around just Gotham and be able to kind of spray paint.
Deface some hero posters as well, you know. Cause some trouble. Got it. Nailed it.
Harley can use her hammer to interact with things. It's also one of the great things. Harley's got some brilliant moves, and there's some stuff as well the team do that kind of really twist on what you'd expect. So Harley's there with a giant mallet, so if you jump up in the air and you're going to do a big slam attack, you kind of expect her to come down with a mallet. No, we wanted to do something different. Instead, a bomb appears and she rides that down and it blows up. So we get to do kind of a twist on things, and it's really cool just being able to kind of explore this character. We've got a huge roster of villains in this game. And just kind of really digging in to see how each one of them interacts with the world, what abilities they can do, what special moves they've got. As James mentioned, they've all got these different grab moves. So if you run up and grab an enemy, like, okay, what can I do? How am I going to take them down? Whether it's Joker jumping down like with a boxing glove filled Jack in the Box, or whether it's going to be someone like Solomon Grundy who just kind of wedges people into the ground, being super strong and everything. So that kind of that idea that you have to kind of really explore these characters, and as you unlock new people, go, oh, what do they do? What's going to be able to kind of new abilities and we're able to use. Cool. So we've just actually made this giant cannon, and I think Joker's going to ask Harley to put ourselves into the cannon, fire up, and let's see where we can end up.
What could go wrong? It's not dangerous at all. Scared off the Justice League, though, didn't it? Almost at the top of the clock tower. I wonder what's waiting for us up there.
So here we have Lex and Metallo, and they're actually teaming up against Superman because, as we know, Superman, being as powerful as he is, he needs a couple of the villains to kind of team up and really kind of help kind of take things out. And it's one of the cool things that, once again, that this clock tower we're climbing up, this actually it's part of Gotham. So when you get to the open world, you can explore Gotham and you'll see the clock tower again and be like, oh, okay, that's where that level took place. And you can, whether you're kind of driving around in various cars, or even if you kind of jump in and ride around, go joyriding in a helicopter and kind of explore the city. We really wanted something that felt very much alive, and there's some really cool locations. You may see in the background just there, we've got East Chemical, so some really iconic locations within the DC universe you'll be able to see and explore.
There's the Iceberg Lounge down there as well.
All of the penguins in this game. I wonder if we see penguin now.
All of the Gotham hotspots, you know. Everything you'd expect, really. Like, all these awesome locations.
Yeah. And that's the great thing as well, we've kind of laid it out, the hub, so that we've got Gotham and then there's Metropolis. It's kind of always raining in Gotham, but sunny old Metropolis, and you've even got Smallville there as well, so you can go off and explore Smallville, and there's quests, there's hubs, there's collectibles.
If you want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city, you know.
You have to retire to the country. And the world really is full of different things to do. We really wanted a reason to keep coming back and exploring. And then you get to do villainous things as well, which is quite cool. So you know what, you get to do the whole, how easy is it to take candy from a baby? Maybe you get to find out at some point.
The most orthodox way to get a ladder down, but it works.
So of course, Joker would have some iconic things. So he can do some quirky things, like throwing kind of cream pies that you'd expect to. But of course, they're laced with explosives. You get to blow things up. Or he actually has a move as well where you can pull out a banana and stick people up with it and use it as kind of like a grab move.
We're in. Nah. An amazing escape there, I think.
So here we are. So this is actually the very end of the very first level. So here we are making our escape. Of course, we have some cutscene, we have some content, and maybe we've got some other people that are going to be important to the story about to turn up.
You can see that battle that's going on. Like, we've left some chaos behind, haven't we?
So just as the villains are getting the upper hand, Batman makes his appearance.
Hold it right there.
Who's this?
Vile villains of villainy.
I don't know, they look like they're making short work of them villains. Like, who are these people, Phil?
So yeah, these are some new people who've just turned up. Who I think they're called the Justice Syndicate.
Yeah.
They look a little bit familiar, but also a little bit different.
Yeah, I can see that. What's that? Ultraman, Seeking. You've got Grid as well, and Powering.
They might play a bit of an important part of the story. Maybe there's a bit more to them than we'd expect.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed what we've had to show for Lego DC Supervillains. I know I've enjoyed it.
No, it's been great. I mean, it's one of the first times we ever get to show this to anyone. So we're really excited to be able to kind of show a little bit of a tease. This is the very beginning of the game, but like I say, it's a huge story to keep going. So yeah, this is thanks very much for tuning in. And don't forget to like and subscribe for any more videos you want to see for Lego DC Supervillains.